Hello, welcome to the Charterstone Times, the only official podcast detailing the goings-ons of the Charterstone apartment complex. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Charterstone Times. Today is Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. The Santa Royale skies are shining. The sun is out. Not a cloud remains in the sky. However, for one Charterstone resident, Keith Helland, perhaps a dark storm cloud remains on the horizon. Let's check in with Keith on how he's coping. Yesterday, he drove to Kitty's place. Sonia was not his daughter, he thought to himself. I wonder if Kitty knows. His white Jeep drove down the slow, small Santa Royale hills with not a car in sight. He gripped the steering wheel and stared out the window. He thought to himself, she kept Sonia a secret from me all these years, and also kept me in the dark about Brad. Who was Brad? What relation did she have with Kitty? We still don't know. Let's see if we'll find out today. Today, Keith's Jeep still slowly drives the road. There remains a guardrail next to it. The city looks farther back. He has progressed some distance. Keith considers Kitty while driving to her house, as one should. Kitty has not been open with me about several things, Keith thinks to himself. He drives and remembers with a look of fear in his eyes as he grips the steering wheel tightly. He pictures himself holding Kitty on their hike. His thick, muscular man claws grip her shoulder tightly, forcing her into his chest. But how good it feels to be with her again, he thinks. He is trapped between wanting to trust and love someone to feel accepted for once in his cold, sad, pathetic life, and also knowing that Kitty has openly lied and perhaps misrepresented the truth to him. What will Keith do? Let's tune in tomorrow to find out. Before we go, I would like to run another edition of the Charterstone Mailbox. That's right, it's everybody's chance to share their opinions and theories about what's going on in the Charterstone apartment complex. JB writes, Kitty has not been open with me about several things. I put the kibosh on Brad and am hiding the fact that I know I'm not Sonia's father and secretly tested her DNA through back channels and cheat at Monopoly. I think we're even, a perfect match for each other. I'll get married to confirm over another wheelbarrow full of muffins. Steve Henry, longtime resident, writes, Kitty has not been completely open with me. Lucky for me, her best feature is always open and always happy to see me. For some reason, Kitty has been lying to numerous residents of the Charterstone apartment complex. Elizabeth O. says, I would rather be in Kitty's head to understand why she decided to lie and run away from any sort of responsibility for her actions. Unfortunately, Moy Brigman seems to think that Keith has a more sympathetic perspective when it's really not that sympathetic or engaging. Harsh words from an avid reader and commenter on comicskingdom.com/Mary-Worth. Bob S. says, drive careful, Keith. The guardrail is facing the opposite way on the wrong side of the posts. Charterstone does not pay for very good road construction services. Their tax money is going to waste. Bob Tice said exposition by Evolve Mollusk Boulder 1 to exposition by Evolve Mollusk Boulder 2. Man, that guy thinks way too much of himself, doesn't he? I wish he'd clam up with those thoughts of his, so to speak. Wow, what a great pun to end our episode on. That's all for today's edition of the Charterstone Times. Thank you again, as always, for listening. And I hope you will tune in tomorrow to see what else happens in the exciting world of the Charterstone Apartments and Mary Worth.